Hi, it's Tiffany with HistoricIndianapolis.com, and today joining me is Marsh Davis, the president of Indiana Landmarks, and we are in the beautiful Indiana Landmarks Center. Thank you so much for having us.
Glad to have you here.
There are still, miraculously, people that have not been here or don't know about you. How can we help fix that?
Well, that's not a bad problem. I think it's wonderful when you have people come in for the first time. I'm glad that everyone hasn't been here because it's a wonderful experience to see people's reaction when they come in the doors, especially here in the Grand Hall. I hate to use the word over and over again, but people almost invariably look up and say, wow. It's just that they don't expect it. So I like the fact that there are many more people in the community that have yet to discover the place. But there are opportunities if people want to come here on an informal basis. We have Friday and Saturday tours of this building, coupled with tours of the Morris Butler House, which is just across the alley. Those start at noon on Fridays and Saturdays. Free tours open to the public.
Fantastic.
We also have a whole bunch of events. Not only our events and lectures, but we partner with some of the other not-for-profit organizations and cultural organizations, concerts, lectures, programs. There's plenty of opportunities to be here.
For somebody who is perhaps visiting for the first time or even a second time, I'm interested in your perspective. What would be 3 or 4 of your favorite elements that you love about this building?
Well, I love the acoustics. We're in this grand hall here. It was known as the auditorium, which I think is interesting because most people think, well, it was the sanctuary, but in those days, the Methodist Church here they were interested in the auditory qualities of the church, the preaching, and then so with the curved pews, the auditorium. So the acoustics are superb. I think my favorite single element is the organ, which has been restored. Beautifully, not just restored, but the organ is original to the church, not the console, because it had long ago vanished, but the pipes were here. The organ was made in Indianapolis, but the restoration included an enhancement of the instrument so that it's now bigger and more powerful than it was. It's a full concert organ today. And it's so beautifully pointed with the work that Conrad Schmidt Studios did. The third aspect would be the multi-functionality of the building. That's not a tangible element, but it's just the way this building functions and the way it's really helped to position us in the community with a greater, much greater presence. And I think the fourth thing is just the sheer quirkiness of the building. This is a very unusual building. It's not, in a way, the most beautiful building in the world, but it is a very interesting place. What they were thinking when they built this was very much in the Victorian mode, taking a model from Renaissance architecture, Romanesque. It is a unique venue. Even finding a way through the building can sometimes be a challenge, but that's part of the charm, and I think that's good.
Absolutely. Can you talk a little bit about the Sunday school wing? I think we want to go see that as well. I love that.
Yeah, well, this part where we are now was built in 1891, and then when the church expanded, they built a Sunday school wing in 1900, which we now call the Cook Theater. It was part of this social gospel movement where Sunday school was a big part of the program. That wasn't always the case in churches, but mainline Protestant denominations were embracing Sunday school and training and adding classrooms. And so what this building is, it's one of the most fully developed churches in what's called the Akron Plan, which has spaces with interconnecting peripheral rooms that can be open and closed, and that's what we'll see in the Cook Theater.
It's an amazing space. Again, I want to thank you so much for inviting us here to see this beautiful space. I hope that a lot more people do come as a result of this and for all the amazing occasions you have here. Thank you.
Well, thanks for the opportunity to share it with you. And let me also add how much we at Indiana Landmarks think of historic Indianapolis. You're doing a great job getting the word out about places like this across the city and really opening up an important new audience. So we thank you for all your work.
Thanks. For more information about Indiana Landmarks and the Indiana Landmarks Center, it's indianalandmarks.org, correct?